I'm Ella and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about how you can find good stuff in the charity shops, in the thrift shops, in vintage shops, as they're going to be opening tomorrow in the UK. Just before I get started, I just want to say this video is sponsored by the sustainable and vegan subscription box company My In A Box, so thank you to them. But let's get into the tips. Visit charity shops and thrift shops as often as you can. Most of my successful charity shop finds are just a case of me walking into a shop one day and having a quick browse while I pass by. You may have to do multiple trips before you can start finding things that you like. This can be very frustrating, but it means that when you do find something, it's going to be like finding gold and it will just be so much more rewarding. You shouldn't be put down if you can't find anything in your first charity shop. So it's a simple hypothesis really. If you increase the amount of shops that you go into, you'll increase the chances of finding things that you like. Unlike normal high street shops, charity shops stock changes every week and sometimes even every day. So you could go in on Monday and then by Wednesday, the whole shop will be different. Yes, there'll be some things that are still there, but they may have brought out new things. Make sure you look through the whole shop. It can often feel like everything is really old or not your style, but if you look at it from the bigger picture, it can look like that. But then once you sift through all the things, you may find some real gems in between the ugly shirts. Some things are sized incorrectly. For example, there were some boys size large jogging bottoms in the men's section, which if they were men's size large wouldn't fit me, but because they were boy size large and I am the size of a 12-year-old, they fit perfectly. If I hadn't looked in the men's section at all, I wouldn't have found those. I would especially recommend looking through the men's section if you are into sportswear, sports t-shirts, always loads of jumpers which could be classed as unisex, but they're just placed into the men's section for sizing reasons. Have an aim and have an idea of what you're looking for. This will help with sifting through the craziness that is a charity shop. I know some people like to have a list of things they're looking for. Having a list is really important because it means that you won't buy things you don't need, just because then you're not going to be like crazy and buy everything, because overconsumption is a problem. Yes, charity shopping is sustainable, but it's not that sustainable if you overconsume. Please make a list. Please be more conscious. Please be aware of what you're buying, not just buying because it's cheap. Which leads me on to my next point. The prices are not always that cheap. I know as someone who's been charity shopping for a few years, prices have gone up. As with everything, prices go up, but definitely with charity shops, they have noticed the demand and they are pushing the prices up. Don't get ripped off. Charity shops like to upprice things if they're a recognisable brand. Obviously, it will be cheaper than buying it new. So if you are going from buying new to buying charity shops, you will think everything is cheap. But I know that as someone who's found t-shirts for £1, it's like to see things at £10 plus, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be able to afford that. But then it's like, subjective. Just be aware that the prices will vary and it's not always as cheap as you may perceive. Location is so important. Super inner city charity shops can be very hit or miss. The further you go out to towns where there are more rural, affluent areas, you get a lot of really nice stuff in the charity shops. The more affluent in areas, generally the more affluent the donations will be to that charity shop. So if you're in a charity shop that's in a relatively poor area, the clothing may not be, these designer fancy thrifted finds that people find online. So don't be disheartened if your local charity shop is just full of, Primark clothes. If you go to the nearest more affluent area, you may be able to find more better quality clothing, whether that be vintage, designer, things that you can spend and know that they're going to last a long time. Something you have to kind of learn with charity shopping is trial and error. You figure out which charity shops generally get better donations. Never dismiss a charity shop just because you've had bad luck there before. Also, some towns have more charity shops than others, so this would mean that the donations would be more widely spread across the shops rather than just all donations going to one shop. You make it an event or an activity. Find a town near you that's got loads of charity shops and do a charity shop crawl. Go across the town, go in all of them. So to conclude, charity shopping and thrifting is a huge luck game. There is not very much skill required other than commitment, endurance, and perseverance. It sounds like a crazy expedition, but really it's just having the energy to go through all the rails. I think a lot of people will go in a shop and just brush over everything and think, oh, there's nothing in here for me. But those who look will find. It's a great way to make your fashion shopping more sustainable, and you donate money to charity, which I'm not complaining about. Let me know what your best charity shop find is in the comments. I would love to know. I may do a best charity shop finds video at some point, so let me know if you'd be interested in that. Like this video if this was helpful and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching.